Good morning, we're here at Walmart. We're going to do some fire safety for today, and today we're going to show some smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, and we're hopefully going to talk to some people who come in about those smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Tell them the safety parts about them, and tell them where they should be putting them, where they should be installing them. We also have some handouts for them today, and we got some, of course, some little trinkets we can give out to kids. We have some pencils, pens, and some stickers for them too. So let's go through carbon monoxide detectors. So carbon monoxide detectors, everybody should have one at home. It's really great to have them at home, especially if you have any type of fossil fuel burning appliance. The carbon monoxide detectors are there to make sure that any of those unburnt gases that may escape into the home get detected by these carbon monoxide detectors. Of course, CO, carbon monoxide, is the odorless, colorless gas that can kill. It's a silent killer. People don't realize that they have carbon monoxide in the house unless they have a detector. So we're hoping people will stop by today and we can talk to them about the carbon monoxide detectors. Today we're also going to be talking about some smoke detectors. We always want to make sure smoke detectors, here's a combination smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector. We want to make sure people are still using smoke detectors at home. We want to make sure that they take a look at their smoke detectors, turn them over on the back side. There's a manufactured date on the back side of those smoke detectors, and that manufactured date should be within 10 years. If they're not within that 10 years, they should be coming down to their local either Walmart or going to any other store and picking out a new smoke detector and installing that where the old one was. This smoke detector I have in my hand right now is actually a combination smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector, so they can do both of them with that detector. Hey, so maybe some people want to learn how their smoke detectors work. If there's a small button on the smoke detector, usually says test. If they push that small button on the smoke detector, there goes the smoke detector. They make sure that it works. While they're testing their smoke detector, they should also make sure that they bring maybe a vacuum cleaner with them and clean some of that smoke detector so it's nice and clean. This is a good spot for where little critters, little ants, little insects happen to get inside, maybe cause some dust inside, maybe cause some cobwebs inside. And that's what sometimes gives them the false alarm. So we're making sure that they have a vacuum with them and they vacuum out that smoke detector, make sure that smoke detector works real well. Some smoke detectors obviously can also have a connection to it, that it's connected up to 110 volts. And I have a friend with a fly. They could hook up their smoke detector at 110 volts, and it's powered by the electrical in the house. Some of them also have a battery backup, that they could have a battery backup on them, making sure that that battery is good. Most of the smoke detectors you buy now, the brand new ones, don't have an outboard battery. They actually have an inboard charging system that has a lithium battery that lasts the 10 years. So guess what? In 10 years, it's time to replace the whole smoke detector, battery and all. Let's talk a little bit about those carbon monoxide detectors. Remember, we're going to put those carbon monoxide detectors usually in the same places that we put smoke detectors. They're either going to be on the ceiling, and it's going to be a combination smoke carbon monoxide detector, or we could actually have an outboard carbon monoxide detector that may be plugging into a wall. You just want to make sure you read whatever detector that you buy, how to install it, and where it gets installed. And again, those carbon monoxide detectors, take a look at the back of them. There's usually a manufacture date on there, and that manufacture date will tell you when you should be changing that detector. They're usually like smoke detectors. Every 10 years, it's time for a new one of those also.
Good morning, my name is Mike Constantino. I'm the Asset Protection Manager for the Hudson, New Hampshire Walmart. And we asked Steve to come in today to discuss the safety issues with carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, because this is National Safety Month for Walmart, the month of June. And we had the fire department in last week. So we're glad to have him to come in to be able to talk about this important topic.
Excellent. Mike, I appreciate you having us down here today. That's excellent. Thanks for setting up the table for us. We're glad to be here to talk about some carbon monoxide things. We're glad to talk about what are you going to do with what happens when that carbon monoxide detector goes off at your house, making sure that you're getting outside, calling 911 from outside the home, and having us respond. Make sure we can check those carbon monoxide levels in your home if that detector does go off. Talk a little bit about emergency supply list and what's on some of those supply lists. Hey, a gallon of water per person a day for at least 3 days. If you need to bug out of your home, if for some reason something happens, they don't want you to shelter in place at your house because something wrong, maybe a natural disaster. I want to make sure you have a gallon of water for every person and last 3 days. Food for a 3-day supply. Battery operator to hand crank, NOAA weather radio with a tone alert, and some extra batteries for both. Flashlight. A first aid kit, small first aid kit works great. To whistle to signal for help. A dust mask to help filter contaminated air. Plastic sheeting and duct tape if you had to shelter in place and you wanted to put some of that duct tape on the windows and the plastic on the windows. Moist towelettes, garbage bags, plastic ties for personal sanitation. Wrench or pliers to turn off utilities. A can opener for food. If kit contains some type of canned food, you could have a can opener. Make sure you add one of those. And some type of local maps. And remember, if there is an emergency and you want to make sure that the rest of your family members know where you are, you should always contact someone who's outside of your area. That would be your contact person. And everybody knows to contact that person in case your family gets split up. Hey, let's talk about Hudson Fire also. Hudson Fire's been we've been incorporated since 1924. There's a new fire station going in. That new fire station is going in just before Hardy Road on Lowell Road, right across from Fairview Nursing Home or the inn, the inn at Fairview. A new fire station that was graciously voted on by the town of Hudson people. We appreciate that, and it looks like construction should start sometime in the summer. And hopefully that construction will be completed sometime just after the winter. New fire station, two-bay fire station for the 3 guys that are actually at our South Station fire station. Right now they're at 88 Burns Hill, but they're going to be their new fire station will be at 204 Lowell Road. You can just throw them in the trash can. You can throw them in the trash can. It's when you put a whole bunch of them together, like a big box of a couple of hundred, because of the Mericium 235 that's inside that little piece of hazardous material. You get too many of them together, it's not good. One at a time is not bad. You can just toss them. Really, what they want you to do is really send it back to the manufacturer. But what manufacturer? Well, you know, there is an address on it, so you can send it back to the address, and they should be taking them, but no one's going to send them back.
I probably missed it. You probably already said this, but how long is this one good for?
And they usually say right on the package how long they're good for, or if you look at the detector, if you turn it over, if it's within 10 years, it's time to change it.
It's time to change it.
There you go. Yeah, I found out the same thing last year, the year before. I had to change them.
I change the batteries every time I see you guys put an ad up saying it's that time of year. So
that time of year.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Fall back and spring forward. Those are the 2 times we have people change the batteries. And now they're even the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors they have now. They come with a lithium battery, it has a charging system, and it only lasts for 10 years. So, you put up the battery, you put up the smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, you know in 10 years it's time to replace it, and you don't have to worry about changing the battery every 6 months because it's got a charging system inside. But the lithium battery is only good for the 10 years, and you know, time for a new detector.
Now, is there any specific brand that's better than another or something you should watch out for?
No. Kita's okay, these are great. Walmart sells Kita. Kita has them, First Alert have them. There's all different types of detectors. As long as they have some type of listing, there's a listing here, it says UL listing. As long as it's listed by somebody like Underwriters Laboratory or Factory Mutual, those are fine too, as long as they have a listing to it. And this one does say 10 years. They all say 10 years on it. What does the 3 say? The 3 says, they're guaranteed for 3 years. Carbon monoxide guaranteed for 10.
Well, I'm sure they change. They're going to be changing anyways.
Oh,
better as
absolutely. Yep. Of course they're definitely going to change. They're going to come up with something new.
That's awesome. So these are examples of what should be thrown away.
Yeah. These are old ones, absolutely, and they do say on the back.
Does the white turn to yellow give an indication?
It does. It absolutely does. This one actually says right on it. It was made in August of 2008. So next year it'll be time to get rid of that one. And this one's probably even older.
That's what I said.
This one's even older. 2008. No, this is 2005. So in 2015 it should have been no good.
Now, do you think location makes a difference? Like, say you have a house, so you don't have
good
air
one.
conditioning, like the kitchen, is it different?
Yes, it does. Oh, it definitely makes a difference. You obviously don't want to put your smoke detector too close to the kitchen. You want to try to keep it away from a bathroom because sometimes steam or the heat that comes out of the bathroom sometimes messes them up. I was also saying in the beginning that when you do go and test your smoke detector, make sure you bring a vacuum cleaner and clean them out. Keep them nice and clean because sometimes cobwebs inside can make them false alarm. And making sure that you follow the state law. The state law says if you're going to put in your new smoke detectors, making sure they're hardwired, plugged into the 110 volt system, and they need to be in the bedrooms on every level of the building, including the basement. Best place to start is start in the basement. When you stand at the bottom of the stairway, look up. There should be one detector there. When you get on the main floor, there should be a detector somewhere down near where the bedrooms are. And again, in the bedrooms is a great place for them. Nowhere near the kitchen. And again, if you have a second story, you should walk to the top of the stairs, stand in that hallway, and there should be a smoke detector right there. Good spots.
Yeah, my house is a ranch, but it's a walkout basement, and the owner before me took down the walls, so it's like you walk in the front door and you have a downstairs and an upstairs. So I should have them right up there.
Right there should be one there and one down at the bottom of the stairs.
Yep. And I don't. I should really get a picture.
And then you probably should have a second one on that main level towards the bedrooms.
Yeah, I do. I have, it's battery powered. It's like,
that's good.
At the end of the house, there's like 3 bedrooms at the
Yep.
end, and it's right in the middle of the hall.
That's perfect. That's a great spot for it.
Now, what about hardwired detectors? Is there like a limited life to that too?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. They say on them too because that's a hardwired smoke detector that has a battery backup, and that's a hardwired one, and that has also a 10-year lifespan to it. Usually 10 years. When you go to put in the brand new one, just check the manufacturer specifications and the listing and find out is it only 10 years. Sometimes they're 7, sometimes they're 8. It depends on the manufacturer.
Check into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phrase this question with carbon monoxide
detectors.
Yes. Like I said, I had one that plugged in my wall.
And I have the same one at home.
Up high?
No, it's wherever the manufacturer. If the manufacturer has you plug them into the wall, that's where they've tested it, plugged into the wall.
So
they also say that if you want to, if there's something that's going to make it false alarm because it's too close to the floor, some of those have a plug that now has a wire to it too, and you can put it higher. But it'll tell you in that installation guide where to put that carbon monoxide detector. So remember, make sure you put your carbon monoxide detectors. This is a carbon monoxide detector and a smoke detector together. Make sure you install them per the manufactured specifications. Make sure it's either UL or Factory Mutual FM approved detector. Those are the best type. Kidda is a good type also. But any detector that's been approved by either UL, Underwriters Laboratory, or FM Factory Mutual are perfect. If you have any more questions, you can call Inspectional Services at 886-6005. You can speak to any of the inspectors that are there. Myself and Inspector Joe Triolo both work for Inspectional Services, and we'll be happy to talk to you anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But anytime if you have a question, you can always call the fire station at 886-6021 and talk to the duty officer. He'll be able to answer your questions for you. Thanks for having us.